Okay, so back we are. So we did a bit of an overview. We created references to group policy objects. Let's take a look at the GPO, or the object that's been created, and see what it's all about before we move on to containers and stuff like that. All right, so I think I have two here, GPAE 1 and GPAE 2. Both represent objects that have been referenced by the automation engine. Same thing. They look exactly the same, right? So when I look at these, this information is helpful. I may use this in my script for different reasons, version control, what have you. There may be a lot of different things that I do in here, but the object itself is defined and viewable in a different way. So if I want to take that reference to a group policy object and pipe that over to get member, I'm going to actually see a couple things. Number one, I'm going to see the type. So this is an object type that was created by the GPO SDK. It's a GPO object or a GP object IMPL. And it has a series of methods and properties associated with it. All right, so the methods are things that I can do to this object, or methods are actions that I can call from this object. Properties are data, so I can either modify, update, read, whatever, depending on the property itself. So there's a lot of different information that I may get out of this. If one way that you can look at this, as many of you already know, is simply type the name of the placeholder and hit your dot in the ISE, and all of the different options available to you at the top are going to be properties, and then at the bottom are going to be methods. All of whatever is available to you on the object is going to show here. Common things that we'll do actually in the next video, we're going to talk about connecting to a container. We'll use the getObject method to do that. I may want to look at the GUID of this GPO. I may want to look at, who knows, I may want to look at if the central store is in use. In this case, it's not. Let's see, I know that there's no company name, but hey, containers is a big one. There's two containers in here. I can actually see that there are two containers.count. So getting more object focused in your thinking, GPAE 1 is the placeholder. Show me all the containers in there. Actually, don't show them to me, just tell me how many are in there. And if you look at this section under computer configuration, there's something here called containers. Actually, it exists in both user config and computer config, but that has subcontainers. Now, from an object perspective, I have these two objects. If I just want to look at the first one, it's using ordinal numbering here in the object counting. So containers 0 in that array or that collection of objects is going to be just the computer configuration. Containers 1 will be just the user configuration. So if I go back here to the computer config, I can do something like this. Select object, expand property, containers, and I can actually find or see all of the subcontainers in computer configuration. And this is giving me more data than I want. Maybe I just want to grab a table with the name. So there's 5 different subcontainers that I can reference with the automation engine. So that I'm just trying to set the stage here and explore the object. I'm not trying to do anything super functional here. But you can do a lot of interactive work with these with these objects. You can do a lot of querying, or getting resultants set based on the data that you're looking for. I have all these containers. Give me the containers where the object maybe its name is like or contains, how about computer? Let's see if that comes up with anything. So I've narrowed it, right? And I'm using my knowledge of PowerShell and my use of variables and my understanding of the objects and manipulating that collection of objects so that I can get down to what I actually need to find. That's less about GPAE, more about just sort of general PowerShell and scripting, but it's very cool. Now that you have the object, you can do a lot here to walk down the tree and figure out what settings exist. So in the next video, we're going to connect to containers and see what's in there.